So I got in an argument last night with a guy on Discord. My boy Vice, right? A lot of y'all know him. He's from that MGTOW News channel, right? Great guy, cool dude. I like him as an in general thing, right? But, with me being me, like I have some facts inside of my head. And I decided that, last night I got off kind of early. I took my ass back home and I passed out at 1 a.m. I didn't get a chance to finish the squabble. So I figured I would make a video for him to show him my points so he understands exactly what it is that I'm saying when I say that Americans haven't had a wage increase since 1978. Now, with this understanding, okay, is to understand that, we stood here and have inflated the currency, right? And basically brought in a whole bunch of people to depress the wages, things of this nature. He has a lot of these Austrian libertarian ideologies about how economics works. And I understand his mental, right? But the truth is that, people live in an economy. And an economy, when we talk about it, is made up of human beings, right, who live in a certain geography. And these human beings have needs and families and wants and need houses and need cars, transportation, food, medical care, diapers for their kids, all these type of things, right? It's highly important to understand this stuff. And so I look at things in a more of a human being aspect than I do looking at it in a mentality of thinking about what's best for, the GDP, right? Because GDP is a garbage number. And libertarians and Austrian economists want slaves. And I don't think slaves is a good way to do things, right? I'm going to keep this 100% honest with you. Slavery was terrible in the South for, the economy. And the reason why it was terrible is because of the fact that you put a whole bunch of people out of work and ended up having a whole bunch of human beings being impoverished because you had other humans who were doing work for nothing. Important to understand. So let's start off where this starts off. I'm starting off with 1980 because, let's be honest here, 1980 is a nice even number, and finding data way, way easier. All right, the average wage was $11,656, right? The average individual income, right? The median individual income, as it were, which equals out to $42,894 in 2023 dollars. Now, how did you come up with this? 3.68, right, is the multiplier, right? If you want to take something from 1980 to today, you multiply it by 3.68 in dollar value, and you come out with the current inflationary rate, right? So you have an understanding of how this operates, right, to understand, exactly how things go. All right, here's a data set that I pulled this from. You know what I'm saying? This is 1985, right? Actually, this is 1985 multiplied by 2.82, right? To get the actual inflation rate means $47,000 was the median income in 1985. 2021, it was $60,575 according to this, but this is household income because they changed the way they actually measured things in, the 1990s. So here's why there's a difference between the average personal income and the median income. And on top of that, when you take out, in 1985, the average CEO made 40 times the amount that the average worker did. Today, the number is about 292 times the amount of money, right? So it kind of evens out in the end of the day when you run median income, which would be $44,225. And just to remind y'all, right, where we are, $47,000 in 1985. Okay, so now the average rent in 1980 was $243. That comes out to $894 in 2023 money. 2023, the average rent is $1,180. Right, we're going to be doing this a lot today. This is a collection of cars, right, on how much they costed back in the 1980s. Right, so I picked out a few of them. Right, in particular, the Chevy and GMC pickups, because, you can have an understanding of how much this stuff actually cost, right? So the Chevy Cavalier was $7,171 in 1984. That comes out to $26,389 today. A GMC 1500 pickup was $5,400 in 1982. It is $19,782 in today's money. Chevrolet Camaro, 84 and 80. It's why one's a little bit more expensive than the other one, right? 26,000 and 27,000 respectively. Well, 27,000, 28,000 respectively, right? And listen, where is, I don't know what happened to my picture, right? But the average cost of a GMC pickup right now is about $54,000. The average cost of a Camaro is about $48,000 today in today's money. Median home price unadjusted, right, is $47,200. That comes out to $173,696 in today's money. That's the multiplier of 3.82, you know what I mean, or 3.68 that you're multiplying by. Right, today the median sales price of a home, $436,800. Right, just for context. So you'll understand, you know, people need homes, right? Let's go to prescription drugs, right? Because, you know, if you're going to stand here and, you know, look at things as far as stuff's really concerned, $10 in 1980, right, equals out to $75.50 in 2023 money. It's a 750% increase, right? Highly important. So basically, you know, I mean, $10 in 1980 comes out to $75.50, right, in today's money. And then he said, well, you know, we work less hours now than we did back then. Well, the average work hours back then was 38 hours per week. The average work hours now is 42 hours per week. This is productivity versus wages, right? You know, I know we've all seen this chart like 1,000 times. You know, every time we had this conversation, we had to break this out. It is what it is, right? Now, how did they manage to do this, right? You know what I mean? Because this is kind of crazy. Basically, what they did is instead of paying people, they gave them, you know what I mean, credit, right? And so what ended up happening was in 1980, the personal debts of, you know what I mean, Americans exploded. They just borrowed from future wages to be able to pay for what they needed now, right? And just became debt slaves, right? This is U.S. consumer debt, securitized in 1980, just explodes, right? This here is 1980, fucking total amount of debt under load, right? It's like $349. You know what I mean? In 2000, it was $1,500, right? And that's only 2000. We ain't even in 2020s yet, right? In the end of the day. Okay. How did they keep wages down? Well, it's really simple. They brought in massive amounts of people. Right. Basically, the premise is they went from 5% in the 1970s to about 15% of total population today. And being 15%, and basically with that 3% or that 3 times amount, right? Basically, you know, the inflation is 3 times the amount. Immigrants are 3 times the amount. It's weird how that works, right? So basically, here's how we ended up building a middle class. Right, we cut down immigration, right? 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, we did really well. 1960s, you know what I'm saying? We had some more people come in, but we're still all right. 1970s, more people. 1980s, lots of people. 90s, a lot of people. 2000, lots of people, right? It's how it works. It's how they cut things out, right? Immigration, you know what I mean, as a percentage of foreign-born people, right? In 2020, it's 14.3%. 2030, be 15, 17, 18, 20% in 2060. So, with that being said, I want you to understand that the reason why it is that we're not having any wages is because of the fact that, like, instead of allowing labor to get its share of income, they're standing here bringing in massive amounts of immigrants to keep the cost of goods down so that everybody has, you know, cheap stuff. But for all the big ticket items, you end up having to go into debt, you know what I mean, and borrow from future wages, which keeps you, you know what I'm saying, inside of this cycle of constantly having to pay off debt to be able to go back to work, right, to pay off more debt. And this is, you know, basically where we are today. And this is how we got there. It's because of the fact that we followed these, you know, Milton Friedman, you know, Hoppe, Rothbard, Ayn Rand type of stupid people who really see the economy as this free market of shit, when in reality it's not any type of free market in any way, shape, or form, because of the fact that the government's rigging the game against the people who actually live inside of the economy, right? You know what I mean? When you make all your preferences for businesses explode, and you make all your, you know what I mean, like, you know, you try to like rig the game against people, the people end up getting fucked. It's where we are today. But I wanted to stand here and, you know, we put this out so that everybody could see, you know, I mean, exactly what happened and why. And, you know, I mean, how the fact that, you know, 40 years ago, people had it way easier than we do today because of the fact that they didn't have to have massive amounts of debt. A car costed you about half of your fucking, you know, I mean, daily or your yearly income. Today, it's a full year, along with houses, right? Which, you know, at, what was it? What did we say for houses, man? I don't even remember, to be honest with you. Right? Right, with houses, which I think was like $140,000 or something like that. It was still like some ridiculous amount, like 15% or 15 times your home price, 173, right? So, oh wait, no, because you were making $11,000 per year, so you could have bought a house. You would have paid your house off in 4 years with your full income. Now, you know what I mean, at $430,000 or $440,000 for the average home cost, you making $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year, even then, you're still talking about 10 years to be able to pay off a house with all of your income. That's not having taxes taken out. That's where we are. But anyway, yo, look, I'm Tom Pease with Pnoid News. Y'all know the deal. Like, share, and subscribe. I will holla at y'all later. Peace.